All right, folks, the 30-second warning. Okay, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Kincardine at 5 o'clock on October 25, 2023. A roll call this evening. Deputy Mayor Clark.
Present.
Councillor Blackwell.
Present.
Councillor Kavanaugh.
Present.
Councillor Hinchberger.
Present.
Councillor Kennedy.
Present.
Councillor Prenger.
Present.
Councillor Steinoff Gray.
Present.
Councillor Stewart.
Present.
I'd like to also acknowledge our staff members that are here, and we have half a dozen attentive members in the public gallery. Deputy Mayor Clark, please.
We'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are meeting on the traditional lands and treaty territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, which includes the Chippewas of Nawash, unceded First Nation, and the Chippewas of Saugeen First Nation, whose ancestors were the first to inhabit, care for, and live on this land. We recognize and deeply appreciate the contributions that Indigenous peoples have made, both in caring for this land and shaping and strengthening this community, our province, and our country. As a public service organization, we are dedicated to learning and acknowledging Indigenous history and culture, and are committed to actions that move us towards a journey of truth, healing, and reconciliation with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, the Métis Nation of Ontario, and the historic Saugeen Métis.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd ask Council if there are any amendments, additions, or deletions to or from the agenda that you would like to propose this evening. Seeing none, we'll move on to disclosure of pecuniary interest, and I'd remind you to declare now or as it arises during the meeting. Councillor Kennedy, please.
Matters for discussion, direction 7.1H. I'll have to declare because I'm an employee of the Provincial Junior Hockey League.
All right, we'd like to, I need a mover and seconder that the minutes of the council meeting held October 11 be adopted as printed, moved by Councillors Hinchberger and Kavanaugh. All in favor of that? And that's carried. Matters for public participation. We have two presentations this evening, two delegations. I'd like to welcome Tony Huad to the microphone. From the Municipal Innovation Council. Welcome, Mr. Huad. It's nice to have you here this evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Your Worship, Deputy Mayor, councillors, and administration. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be here today. On behalf of the Municipal Innovation Council, I'm here to share some of the history as well as some of our success stories. Next. My name is Tony Huad. I'm the director at the Municipal Innovation Council, MIC. Prior to my work at the MIC, I worked for over 27 years at the municipality, various municipalities in various senior management positions. Next. The MIC was formed in 2020. 8 municipalities in Bruce County signed and formed the MIC. They came together to find savings, efficiency, and better deliver services, all with the goal of building smarter, stronger, and more resilient communities. The MIC's commitment to this members is threefold. First is to learn from the experts, as well as leveraging municipal expertise and our own strengths. Collaborate with our peers and colleagues, listen to industry, work with experts, and understand that change is critical. Transform the way our municipalities do business and embrace opportunity to transform and grow. The MIC funding model is $12,000 base year with a $2.50 per household. In 2020, when MIC was formally launched, it identified 4 key focuses. First, construction infrastructure, information technology and digital services, municipal sustainability, and livable communities. The MIC has had remarkable success over the past 3 years and has proven to be a model that every community across Canada could benefit from. It has allowed us to tackle problems collectively that we just simply couldn't do on our own. Over the last 3 years, we have secured external funding for almost every project we have undertaken. For every MIC dollar invested, we have been able to double that through external funding sources, bringing the total value delivered to over $1.25 million. The following is a high-level summary of the work we've done at the MIC. 2 service reviews, fully funded municipal modernization program. We completed these at no cost to MIC members. Reviewed how municipality delivers services around waste and information technology, efficiencies, cost savings, and sharing services. Just on the IT review, we've made tremendous progress, identifying cost savings in many areas, including hardware and telecommunications. Mapping solution, topographical software, uses state-of-the-art machine learning to provide digital representation of Bruce County. Using this technology has saved us thousands of hours in being more efficient. The next program is the Food Cycler Pilot Program. I'm going to speak very high level as our next delegate will be speaking in more detail about this program. In 2023, the MIC partnered with Food Cycle Science, a Canadian technology company, to launch Food Cycler. The program is designed to measure the viability of on-site food waste processing technology as a method of waste diversion. The pilot program was run in Bruce County that included 880 participating households, 420 which were supported by the MIC, which included a $25,000 Bruce Power financial contribution. Benefits of the program include reducing food waste from the landfills, removing more trucks off the road, reducing infrastructure and collection costs, contributing to a 95% reduction in CO2 compared to sending food to landfills. Residents reported generating 0.42 fewer standard garbage bags per week, which is a reduction of 21.8 garbage bags per household per year. In November, a report is coming back to the MIC board to discuss next steps. I'm hoping to analyze the expanding the Food Cycler program in your community to see how we'll extend the useful life of your landfill. MIC and Food Cycler Science will continue to pursue grant funding to help subsidize the program. The Smart Beach project is a 3-year pilot project that the Municipal Innovation Council launched at Station Beach in Kincardine. The end goal of the program for beachgoers is up-to-date information and water conditions. The technology is the first kind in North America. Year 1 and year 2 focus on data gathering. In 2024, we're entering year 3, and we're expecting the product and benefit of this agreement. Forward thinking, the MIC is investing in innovative solutions that create long-term value. Innovation requires that organizations learn to think creatively to be able to bring about new products, services, and approaches. Information technology. The Joint IT Steering Committee was created with individuals involved with IT across Bruce County. Sharing the knowledge, ideas, and peer support is the backbone of this committee. Members have also recognized cost savings through sharing of purchasing programs, details, and individual experiences. Topographical mapping. Using this technology is an important resource for tree cover analysis in our communities. Another feature is the elevation and height details of buildings' footprints as it enables rendering buildings in 3D with real dimensions. Sustainable transportation. Plans are being developed to create a sustainable transportation roadmap for the electrification of small municipal fleet. to reduce greenhouse gases emissions and promote sustainability, electrification of municipal small fleet has emerged as a significant area of priority. The project aims to evaluate the feasibility, benefits, and challenges associated with transforming our municipal fleet to electric fleet. Real-time road condition reporting by harnessing, is my time due? Okay, it's gonna be wrapping up. Last slide is gonna be on bench strength. We're planning on investing training dollars in project management, customer service enhancements and reporting, and finally, municipal inclusivity and diversity. Thank you today and open up to any questions.
Thank you, Tony. Questions or comments from council? Councillor Steinhoff, great, please.
Thank you, through you, Chair. You provided us with, in addition to this presentation, and thank you for the presentation, a annual report for 2023. And I was a little curious about the smart beaches because when I attempted to access the link for the public, I got an interesting message that the platform didn't appear to be sending us data. I don't know if that's because the buoys were removed and that data would soon be available, historical data, stay tuned. And I'm curious what we get for that part of phase 2, because when I went into the data sets, it didn't seem to filter, even if I put in like Lake Huron and the different information. I wasn't getting a lot of filtering. So I was curious what data points you were focusing on, and just so I understand what I should expect from the predictive analytics that phase 2 encompasses.
Sure. What I can say is I can follow up on whether it was a particular glitch the time that you did that as well. We are going to, in a few weeks, Dr. Chris Hauser is providing a presentation to your municipality on some of the specifics, including the question that you asked. So he would probably be the best person to kind of ask that question to.
Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. Through you, I'm not sure whether this isn't entirely the right forum for this, but earlier this term, I guess, there was a presentation from the MIC when it was being housed under the NII. I'm just wondering if you can talk a little bit about how that has shifted over the past year and what the kind of current structure is.
Okay, I can only give you as much information that I really know. I think there was a separation at some point with the NNI and the MIC. So right now, the NNI, there's no involvement with the MIC, so there isn't anything there. So right now, the focus is with the 8 municipalities reporting directly to the CAO. So that's currently the current process in place.
Tony, thank you so much for coming this evening to give us a view from a little different perspective on the workings of the MIC. We do appreciate you being here.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Our next presentation is from Jessica Taylor, who is going to speak more specifically about the Food Cycler program, Food Cycle Science. Ms. Taylor, thank you for being with us this evening.
There, thank you for having me. I'll just throw my slide up here.
And I'm gonna warn you, apparently there's fancy music that comes on at the end of 5 minutes indicating when the delegation time frame is up. So thanks very much for being here.
I will do my very best and appreciate the warning. All right, can you all see my first slide here?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So good evening. My name is Jessica Taylor and I'm the Municipal Program Manager at Food Cycle Science. And I'm here to present the results of the pilot program for the Food Cycler program that was run in the municipality of Kincardine. The Food Cycle Science is a Canadian company. We're based out of Ottawa and we're 100% focused on providing food waste diversion solutions using our innovative technology called the Food Cycler. As a company, we're proud to say that as of today, the Food Cycler is the trusted food waste solution for over 100 municipal partners across Canada. And when Kincardine and other Bruce County municipalities joined, you were the 62nd municipality to pilot the solution. So we want to acknowledge and thank you for your willingness to trial an innovative solution to the longstanding problem that is food waste. So with support from Impact Canada's Food Waste Reduction Challenge, a pilot program was run in Kincardine that included 210 participating households. 140 of these were subsidized by the municipality, and an additional 70 were subsidized by the MIC with support from Bruce Power. This was all part of a larger county-wide program initiated by the MIC that included 880 participating households. The net cost to Kincardine was $14,000 plus shipping and HST, and this program ran from May to August of 2023, where residents tracked their usage over the 12 weeks to calculate waste diversion. So tonight I'll present a few of the results from the post-pilot survey. We asked your residents how important greenhouse gas reduction was to them, and the average answer was 8.67 out of 10. And how important waste reduction was to them was 9.2 out of 10. So these first two questions allow you to get a sense of how important reducing greenhouse gases and reducing waste are to your residents. When we asked where their food waste went prior to using the food cycler, a large number of them answered that at least some of their food waste went into the garbage. A small number said that they compost, but for some, that's only possible during the summer months. For those that do not compost, about 61% of them choose not to because of concerns with animals and pests like bears and raccoons. And the food cycler is really a great solution for this, as well as solving problems about odor, maintenance, or just general interest in composting. Based on the data collected for diversion, your residents will divert on average 298 kilograms of food waste per year per household using the food cycler. This works out to about 62.5 metric tons of food waste from the 210 food cyclers over the course of a year, and 81 metric tons of CO2 equivalents per year that would be avoided in comparison to disposing of that same food waste in the landfill, or the same amount as taking about 18 cars off the road each year. Your residents reported generating 0.49 fewer standard garbage bags per week, which would be a reduction of 25.8 garbage bags per household per year that would not be trucked to your local landfill. When we asked users if increased awareness of food waste motivated them to waste less food in the first place, the overwhelming majority said yes, it did. When people are managing their food waste at home, they become more aware of how much food waste they're wasting or how much food they're wasting. And while we always say that the most effective waste diversion strategy is not to generate any in the first place, so this awareness that comes with it is very important. And even though it can be difficult to put that into numbers, it's an added value that the solution provides. We asked residents if they saw an increase in electricity costs, and only about 3% said yes, they did. We asked if the municipality were to offer food cycler program at low or no cost. 90% of residents indicated that they think their friends and neighbors would participate, and 88% of them would recommend the program and the food cycler to others in the community. So this slide is pretty self-explanatory and speaks to the success of the pilot program. 99% of your residents will continue using the food cycler as a solution to their food waste moving forward. And this level of participation far exceeds any other organic waste management solution out there today and is very encouraging. Your residents rated the program an average of 4.64 out of 5 stars. And I won't go through this in too much just because of the timing, but I've included some constructive feedback here as well about what we might want to consider in future programs in your municipality. So to recap, we saw 62 metric tons of food waste being diverted from the 210 food cyclers in Kincardine right now. We'll see an average reduction of 25.8 garbage bags per household per year, and 99% of participants will continue using the food cycler. In terms of next steps, as Tony mentioned, there are now 880 food cyclers in Bruce County. We'd like to look into what an expansion program looks like in the rest of 2023 and 2024, design a program that works for you and for Bruce County. And I'd also like to emphasize the idea of being stronger together. So working with the other municipalities in Bruce County to expand this program. Right now we're seeing significant diversion from the 880 food cyclers that are in the county. But if we think bigger and we move into the next few years and continue to grow, that diversion will only continue to grow and have a larger impact across the county and for your local landfill. Again, just for timing, I won't go into too much detail here about the city of Nelson in British Columbia, which is about the same size as Kincardine, is the first municipality to adopt the food cycler at the community level as an organics management solution. And there have been several local resources put in place, like carbon refills, bear-proof bins where residents can drop off their soil amendment, and e-waste recycling program. So just to give you an example of the possibilities of what a program expansion can look like, and that they're really endless. So we would love the opportunity to discuss this further with staff members and really increase the impact in Kincardine and across Bruce County. With that, I'll say thank you and take any questions.
Council members, any comments or questions of Ms. Taylor? Councillor Hinchberger, please.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. Thank you, Jessica, for the presentation. My questions are primarily in the, I think it's the slide 17 about next steps. You talk about having, putting forward a proposal to members of staff and or council, but I'm imagining you're going to like coordinate this through the Municipal Innovation Council. That's the way that this would go. And would the first part. And would this, I find sometimes there's a difference between something showing promise in a pilot program and being viable over a course of years when you get into things such as the longevity of units, repair. And I know that the comments related to Nelson touch on that. So if you could just like speak a bit about some of the little more specific details of what you see the next steps being. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, so to answer your first question, we will work towards a proposal with the MIC, but as happened last time, individual municipalities did their own top up. So we will work on a proposal, put some ideas forward as to what that can look like. There are also opportunities for bulk discounts. So, we have bulk discounts for over 500 units, across the county, there ended up being 880 units. We didn't know that at the very beginning. So now going forward, if we can work together to have a larger program in place, then we can look for efficiencies there as well too. So we'll be able to put some proposals together for you for what that can look like at the county level, but also at the individual municipality level, and would look to your staff members to, if you already have an idea of what you would like to see locally, we'd like to work with you to make sure that we're providing what it is that you would like to see in terms of your own municipality and your contribution. For the second, go ahead.
Certainly for our direction, it will be a budget line item. When it comes back, it's not the policy that the municipality, here's the options, and are we going to choose to do that? So you had a follow-up as well, Councillor Hinchberger?
I did. One of my colleagues made me aware a couple of days ago that it looks like Food Cycler has also engaged with programs with other stakeholders in the municipality as well, in terms of the employer offering a subsidy on the purchase. So I think it's really important that the next step forward start to look at the things that are in progress in our municipality that aren't directly coming through the municipality of Kincardine, but rather just looking at the aggregate of our area as a whole, regardless of how people might come into possession of units like this, or even ones from other manufacturers.
Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. Through you, I'm wondering whether there's been exploration or if there are already units available for things like commercial or industrial use, like schools or restaurants or things like that.
Yes, thank you. So yes, we do have a whole suite of commercial units as well. And there are programs in place with Bruce Power where they're also looking into the commercial units and running programs there. So we do have a full suite ranging from 80 liters of food waste up into 1,000 liters of food waste at the commercial level. So if there is any particular interest in that, I'm happy to connect anyone with my colleague who takes care of that department to provide more information.
All right, Ms. Taylor, thank you very much for your presentation this evening. I can assure you that anyone who's had a food cycler like myself, it is Councillor Stewart has one as well, I know. or something like that. So once you get the hang of how to run them, they are an invaluable tool. My wife's tool is the food maker and mine is the food cycler. So we work well together. Anyway, thank you very much for your presentation this evening.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, moving on to staff reports. We have the IT services agreement. And welcome to our guests this evening, Mike Kirkpatrick and Derek Thompson from the County of Bruce. Initially, we have need a mover and seconder that council approve the attached IT services agreement with the County of Bruce, and further the base cost of $100,000 be included in the draft 2024 budget. Mover and seconder for that motion, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Clark, seconded by Councillor Kavanaugh. Roxanna, would you like to begin the discussion? Are there comments that you would like to make?
Yes, okay, through you, Chair. So as you all know, the MIC just indicated that there was a joint IT business review conducted in 2022. The member municipalities identified a need for improving IT service delivery. And so this was something that was explored further through this review. As you all know, the municipality currently only has one employee dedicated to provide IT services in this organization. And there is a recognized need to increase the IT human resources in order to better protect the municipality from security risk, as well as to keep up with the day-to-day demands on IT. And since COVID, I can say that there has been significant increase in IT demand that has resulted from all of the use of the applications and the laptops and everything that has been deployed across the organization. So currently, the municipality feels that the existing IT staffing is unsustainable. So in an effort to mitigate this risk, municipal and county staff have been working together over the course of the last year to develop a services agreement, and that is attached for council's consideration this evening and to be included in or proposed to be included in the draft 2024 budget.
So I'd like to ask the Bruce County Director of IT Services, Mike Kirkpatrick, to could you provide just a broad overview of how you see this IT service agreement, particularly offering the municipality some services, some support that you know, without significant contribution in our own municipal provision? Like, how did you see this agreement working out? Like, there's a lot of implementation questions that run through my head, but there's a bigger picture that I think you have opportunity to provide us as well.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Chair, through you and to council. Pardon me. How I foresee this working in year one, it'll be a multi-year engagement ideally, is through the first year, we'll do a living audit. What we'll do is we will be in the systems alongside of your current IT staff. Am I okay?
Yeah, could you just tip up your microphone a little bit so you're a little closer to it as you're speaking, please?
As you know, I'm always a quiet talker, Mayor. There you go. So the goal of this is to provide a living audit as well as to improve the services to those who work inside the municipality of Kincardine and for those to provide the services to those outside of the municipality of Kincardine. So through the first year, I expect that we will perform a living audit by documenting all the systems that are in place and attempting to fix them, or at minimum providing input for budgetary consideration in 2024. As Director Bauman has indicated, this is very much a risk initiated activity. We do foresee that we will uncover a lot of areas that require some attention, and we will rate and rank and prioritize them with the Director of Corporate Services to ensure that they are at least made aware to staff and council for consideration in further budgets. I also foresee that we will take the existing IT resource into the county and provide, not being a county employee, but provide guidance and opportunities to work side by side so that we will upskill that staff member in order to provide better services for the staff and residents of the municipality in Kincardine.
Are there any questions from council members? Councillor Steinhoff, great, please.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. I have a few questions. So I think one of the first questions I have is how much, I'm trying to understand how much we have to frame up, because if we're moving more towards cloud software, is that a managed service thing? In which case we have managed service contracts versus on-prem, which I would see as us needing actual hands-on devices. So I'm curious what that composition looks like to better understand what that resource loading is. Because there is going to be specific skill sets that we need, but I'm just curious if you have a mental model of what roles we're lacking, what skill sets we need, and what we're going after. Like, I like to approach things with the end in mind, and part of that's understanding what my current skill sets are and what I'm lacking in that roster. So I'd be curious on your comments there.
Yeah, I appreciate that comment, and through you again, Mayor Craig. I was thinking on the way here of this question that was going to come, and I will use an analogy, and those that know me know that I love my analogies. I'll attribute this much to going to your general practitioner, your doctor, right? Your doctor will take a look over how you're feeling, and you'll give them your symptoms. They will make a minor diagnosis, maybe a major diagnosis that requires referral out. By no time do we expect that we will know everything of what we're going to uncover if we're a general practitioner, but we do know our limitations, which is where I think we're at right now with the current staffing resource that you have. Very much a generalist. What I'm presenting here through the Director of Corporate Services is the ability to have those specialists across the different domains in cybersecurity and application development, in web hosting and modernization, in business process optimization, and in infrastructure. And more specifically to your question about moving from cloud or on-prem to cloud, that's just a moving of responsibility. The risks will always still lie with the organization. So we will upskill. We do come to this table, so to speak, with those skills. We are 5 years into our cloud journey, and we are ever continuing that journey as well, because it's an evergreen process of modernizing IT systems.
Yes, Councillor Steinhoff, great, go ahead.
Just a follow up to that. So if we're going towards cloud, though, typically are we hosting on our own cloud model like Azure, or would we be cloud hosted through the provider? Because that really changes what resources we require.
Again, through you, Chair, if just for a point of clarification, are you suggesting that the county is the cloud provider in this example?
Well, I'm just trying to understand, because a lot of times they manage your instance for you, which is why you'd have certain ISO standards in place. So I wasn't sure what the level of support for those things that go to cloud are from a county or even a municipal level if we're trusting our service provider. So
yeah, again, through you, Chair, the cloud model is ripe for misrepresentations of what it can deliver. Going back to my previous comment, you can outsource the responsibility, but not the risk. We will be moving to, we move to public clouds. We don't stand our own instances. I'm expecting that you come from an environment where you have some of this information, yes, but be very much public cloud services that we subscribe to. Of course, they will be segregated and secured in ways that will prevent access, intentional or unintentional access to that. And any move to the cloud does come inherent with the risk of misconfiguration, because we're no longer in a castle and moat mode. We are now trying to protect the identity. I'm happy to have a very detailed IT discussion with you, because I can tell that you have these skills. I might get the music played for me and I'll be ready to dance for it.
No music in this section. No, we're good. Any other questions from council members? Councillor Hinchberger, please.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. It isn't so much a question for Mr. Kirkpatrick. It's more of a commentary from my colleagues here. I look at the recommendation in two parts. The first part about the IT services agreement. And I just say that me personally, this idea of like standardizing across the lower tiers and moving up to the upper and combining resources in a way, it makes complete sense to me. And I'm in favor of it. The issue that I have at this point is with the recommendation that the way it is written implies that this is going to be a straight add to the 2024 operating budget, as opposed to there possibly being a reallocation of the operating budget in order to fund this, but not an incremental add. And I've spent about 4 or 5 days trying to resolve this in my mind, and I haven't been able to do that. I've had talked with the CAO about this. If no one else here would have any comment at some point, I'd like to move to table the decision on this for 2 weeks. You have more questions? Yeah, I'll wait. I just didn't know
No,
everybody was
no,
done.
there's a motion. You just made a motion
I
on the
did-
floor. We don't,
Fair enough.
we don't get to go to, is. is there might I ask the purpose of the tabling? What, like, if, are there questions to be answered? Is it just your personal mulling over this issue time? What is the purpose of the request, Counselor, please?
For me, as I read it, it speaks to me like a pre-budget approval where it's automatically a tack on, not to take this into consideration in the whole of the organization and the whole of the operating budget.
I agree.
Counselor Stewart, please.
Thank you. I agree. This is a pre-budget approval. We haven't even seen the budget. The service itself, I think, is great. But the problem is that, here's one, there's going to be another one. We can't start pre-budgeting and approve all these things without a budget. So why are we doing this? And why is the staff bringing all these things towards us to pre-approve? And all of a sudden they're going to be part of the budget. We don't have a choice in the matter. So I agree with my fellow counselor. Why don't we just tabletop this for a couple of weeks and let's start getting the budget?
Thank you for your comments, but I'm just going to raise a point of order. We do need a seconder for the motion to table. So if to defer for 2 weeks, is there a seconder for the motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it, Bill.
Councillor Stewart is going to second it. So the motion is that we defer. So it's not about the service agreement anymore. It's about why do we defer? That is the question. That's what the amendment is about. That's what the motion to defer is about. So if you want to ask a question about why should we defer, then you can have that comment. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor that Councillor Blackwell.
Thank you. In the report, it mentions that the current agreement, if approved, would start in January. Deferring it, will that impact that potential start date?
CAO? County Director?
No, I do not believe it will impact the start date unless it pushes right up until the end of the calendar year.
Any other questions regarding deferral? Councillor Blackwell?
Sorry, thank you. Do we have a date of when we're expecting the budget with other potential pre-budget options to be presented?
So the motion was to defer for 2 weeks, was it not?
That's correct.
For 2 weeks. So the question that you're asking is, are we going to be receiving any more budgetary information regarding? We're not going to receive any more budgetary. We're not going to be discussing our budget before the 2 weeks is here. All right.
Mayor?
So,
Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Councillor Stewart.
Thank you. It's an interesting comment you just said. We're not going to be discussing any budget, but you're actually adding 100,000 to our budget tonight with this motion. So I'm a little confused. We're talking about budget, but we're talking pre-budget. But then again, why don't we defer it for a friendly amendment? Why don't we defer it for 4 weeks and see if we can start seeing some of the preliminary budget numbers coming down so we actually know, is this going to be additional cost or is this cost going to be absorbed in some other operational reduction? Who knows? Thank you.
Councillor Stewart, did you just make that? Just a minute, we can't have an amendment of, can we have an amendment of a deferral? Okay. Director, please.
Through you, Chair, just for clarity, the first budget meeting is December 18th, in case council was not aware.
Yeah, we had received notice of that December 18. So we're still talking about the deferral. Councillor Kennedy, you haven't spoken yet.
Okay, through the chair, maybe this is the wrong question, but the recommendation clearly reads the base cost of $100,000 be included in the draft 2024 budget. It doesn't say pre-budget approval, to my knowledge, in that line, recommendation line. Just anyways.
So that was a little off topic. It wasn't about the deferral. Councillor Steinhoff, Gray, your comment about the deferral, please.
Thank you for keeping me crisp. Through you, Chair. I think that if we were asking for 2 weeks, maybe it allows us time to figure out whether we want this as an addition or whether we want to absorb it through some other area of the budget. So maybe we do take the 2 weeks to have those discussions internally as a group, maybe led through the CAO, and go from there.
CAO, would you like to respond to that, please?
Well, within the sorry, within the context of the deferral, through you, Mayor, I think that the presentation with respect to county IT services that council has received throughout this year has been to advise that we do not expect cost savings associated with this pursuit of a new agreement. So there was never an expectation that through
Point of
this,
order, she's talking about the agreement. Point of order, she's talking about the agreement, not the deferred.
within, yes.
Councillor Stewart, you are correct. I had offered that to other councillors, and when we'll deal with the deferral first, as we should be.
Thank you, Mayor.
Regarding the deferral,
You've been asked the general question about essentially justification for the deferral. Councillor Steinhoff Gray said it very well. I had proposed in my mind, in some cases, I might actually come tonight and want to amend the recommendation in the area I've described. But for reasons of having open meetings, I wanted to hear what my colleagues had to say. And we do have had this precedent before where we've had some things before council where the meeting date and the date to be considered by council are two different dates. To allow a discussion like this to occur and then a final decision be made, because I couldn't have all of these discussions and hear what my colleagues had to say other than here.
so with the move to defer, like it does not promote discussion. It ends the discussion this evening, and then we can.
That is why I tried to wait until I thought that every other person had commented on their original issue.
We don't get to make up the rules on the way. So so here we are. We have a motion to defer for 2 weeks. All in favor of the motion? And anyone opposed? And that is carried. So we have it deferred for 2 weeks. Venture bylaw, Queen Street Reconstruction Financial Services. Need a mover and seconder. The council approve the attached debenture bylaw and authorize the municipality of Kincardine to issue debentures in respect of the Queen Street reconstruction in the amount of $4,556,500 for a 20-year term. Moved by councillors Blackwell and Kavanaugh. Director, would you like to speak to this? Or do you want just to see if there's any questions? Any questions or comments from council members? Oh, I'm sorry. Councillor Stewart.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to be rude. Through you, Two questions. In the report, it says business program support 50,000. Like to know a little more about that. And I'm not sure if the director knows, and he might not know, or she might not know, what is the interest cost over the 20 years? I know it's 5.31%, but what does that represent as a cost over 20 years? And the business program support of 50,000. Just need to clarify those two things. Thank you.
So Councillor Stewart, I believe there was an email circulated in response to one of your questions that suggested like the debenture has already been issued, the papers have been signed, the amounts have been agreed to by council. I believe it was a June date that you provided for that, Director, that council had approved that. So this evening, it's not about justifying the numbers, it's about having council issue the debenture and close out the deal.
I wasn't trying to justify, just to follow up, I wasn't trying to justify the number. I was trying to figure out, was the interest rate that we agreed to 5.31 in June, or has it changed? And just part of the sourcing of the program, there's a business program support of 50,000. Just trying to understand those two things. It's in the report. Thank you.
You speak to that, please, Director.
Yeah, through you, Chair. So the business program support, to my knowledge, is the support that was given to the local businesses, different programs and initiatives to support the businesses during the reconstruction phase. So I believe that's what that was intended for. That's nothing new, and that has always been there. And that's funded through the Life Cycle Reserve Fund. And with respect to the interest rate, back in June, there was no interest rate provided. We could only work with what the interest rates were at that time, and that was clear. So we just received the documentation last week about the interest rate, and that is 5.31%. And the total cost of borrowing is 2.85 million over the course of the 20 years.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion? And that's carried. Accounts receivable policy. We need a mover and seconder that council adopts the draft accounts receivable policy as presented or with amendments. And once the new accounts receivable policy is adopted, council repeals the former policy GG 2.20 accounts receivable, and further that council repeals policy GG 2.6 NSF checks. Moved by councillors Hinchberger and Kavanaugh. Questions? All in favor? That's carried. Consolidated rates and fees, financial services, need a mover and seconder that council approve the proposed 2024 consolidated rates and fees schedule as outlined in staff report financial services 2023-32 effective January 1, 2024. Moved by councillors Hinchberger and Deputy Mayor Clark. Discussion. Councillor Hinchberger, please.
It's really a non-intent thing. I noticed on Schedule C application review fees, seeing that the Enbridge came recently looking for a battery energy storage project. Would that have already been covered on one of those categories, the line items there, or do we need a separate one for it? It won't change my vote. I'm just.
You direct that question to the manager at a different time, or would you like it answered now at this point?
Administrative thing, or what I'm saying.
Yep. All in favor of the motion? Anyone opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Mr. McNabb, you can expect an email from Councillor Hinchberger, affords you some time to figure out what the right answer is for that question. Bruce Telecom Legacy Fund. Need a mover and seconder. The council approves the creation of the Bruce Telecom Legacy Fund to maintain the proceeds from the sale of Bruce Telecom Holdings, Inc. And further, the council directs staff to prepare a legacy fund investment policy to provide for the framework for the Bruce Telecom Legacy Fund. Moved by councillors Prenger and Kennedy. Questions? So the intent in conversation, this is to direct staff to build a policy that supports the creation of the investment fund, the legacy fund. It's not this does not say what we're doing with it. All this is directing staff to create one. Councillor Stewart, you had a question as well?
Yeah, I just wanted, in the report, they were talking about the disbursements, whether we use it all or whatever, to go towards the long-term capital plans. I'm sort of against that. I agree with capital plans, but I also think there should be operational, it should be capital and operational, with the discrepancy of the council or the discretion of the council. We should have full control whether we want to aim the proceeds or portion of the proceeds towards capital operation, and it should be on the council's approval only. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stewart. Once again, our Director of Corporate Affairs will bring a policy report, and we'll have ample opportunity to discuss the proposal when it's brought forward. All in favor of the motion? Anyone opposed? That's carried. Holding removal bylaw for 18 Craig Drive. Mover and seconder that Council of the Municipality of Kincardine pass a bylaw for the removal of the holding H provision from concession A, part lot 26, parts 9 and 10, blah, blah, Municipality of Kincardine, Geographic Township of Kincardine. The mover and seconder, Councillors Black, blah, blah. These microphones are not working as well as we all thought. So moved by Councillors Blackwell and Hinchberger. Is there any questions regarding this resolution? All in favor? Anyone opposed? That's carried. Holding removal bylaw for 457 Side Road 30. Need a mover and seconder that the Council of the Municipality of Kincardine pass a bylaw for the removal of the holding H provision from part lot 30, concession 5, Municipality of Kincardine, Geographic Township of Bruce, moved by Councillor Deputy Mayor Clark and Councillor Hinchberger. Any questions regarding this? All in favor? Anyone opposed? That's carried. Live streaming partnership agreement with Bulldogs Parks Facilities. We need a mover and seconder. The council approved the agreement between the Municipality of Kincardine and the Kincardine Bulldogs Club for the purposes of video streaming Junior C games at the Davidson Center for the 23-24 season, moved by Councillors Kavanaugh and Prenger. Any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Count.
Sorry, that was funny. We basically walked out the door and then turned like a.
All right, we have so this is for council nominations. Yes. All right, 7.3, these are for council appointments to committees, council members only. I'll ask council for nominations from the floor to sit on the peer ad hoc safety committee, and one member is required. So we need council members to offer nominations of either themselves or of others to sit on the peer ad hoc safety committee. Councillor Hinchberger.
Thank you. Through your mayor, I'd like to nominate Councillor Kavanaugh.
I happily will. Thank you.
Councillor Stewart, I saw your hand, I believe.
No, I agreed with that one.
Are there any other nominations? Councillor Prenger?
I'd like to nominate Counselor Steinhoff Gray. If she'll take it.
Councillor Steinhoff Gray, would you be willing to sit on that committee representing council?
You mean the Water Safety Committee? Yes.
Okay. Any other nominations from the council members? Okay, clerk, help me out. Is this a closed vote, a show of hands?
So you have to. With two names standing, council has to have an open vote on one member and then the second member.
So just to clarify that, because Councillor Kavanaugh was nominated first, we vote on his nomination only? Is that what you just said?
You only vote on one nominee at a time. So it's either in favor of the first nominee
Or not?
or not. And then
Okay.
if it's not in favor of the first nominee, you vote on the second nominee. It's the one. that-
And if it's not, then we move on to the third nominee. All right. Deputy Mayor Clark, please.
Just a question, are we able to hear from the nominees?
Thank you, nominees. You both have 90 seconds to explain why you would make a positive contribution to the Peer Safety Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you very much. And through the chair, the importance of the water and the role that it plays in our municipality and how our residents and how tourists come and interact with it is of critical importance. It's something that I feel very strongly in with two young children who spend most of the summer down at the water. I want to make it as safe as possible and do it in a way that also allows everyone to enjoy it for the years to come. Thank you.
Councillor Steinhoff Gray, please.
I'd just like to say, I don't think there's a wrong choice here. I think Rory's fantastic and we're both very passionate about water safety. And I do think about my kids. And I can honestly say, as a person who's almost drowned in the lake once, I have a big appreciation for what this means and why it's important. And that's part of why I've been digging into it as of late. So I don't want any more tragedies on my watch.
All right, we have two members nominated, both of whom can vote in this election. We will present Councillor Kavanaugh's name. All in favor of accepting Councillor Kavanaugh's name as the representative, council representative on the Peer Ad Hoc Safety Committee, indicate please. Anyone opposed? Councillor Kavanaugh, you've just been nominated and elected to the, okay, having said that, I need a mover and seconder. The council of the municipality of Kincardine hereby appoint Councillor Rory Kavanaugh to sit on the Peer Safety Ad Hoc Committee. Mover, Councillor Prenger, Deputy Mayor Clark. Oh, it might have been sign off, Gray, yes. All in favor? Anyone
Yes.
opposed? That's carried. Council appointment to the Basra Bruce Area Solid Waste Recycling Board. Once again, we have the opportunity to appoint one council member to sit on the Basra board. The floor is now open for nominations from the floor regarding council members. Councillor Steinhoff Gray, please.
I would like to nominate Councillor Stewart, given some of his previous experience that I think would be beneficial. I would also emphasize that the meetings are through the day at 9 a.m. So it will have to be somebody who has that flexibility to meet that schedule.
Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. Through you, I'd like to nominate Councillor Kennedy. I know this is a conversation he and I have had many times about the transition and possible other collection methods.
Councillor Stewart, are you willing to let your name stand as the council appointee to the Basra board?
If my Councillor Kennedy would like the position, I will walk away from it. Thank you.
No pressure here, Councillor Kennedy.
No.
Councillor Kennedy, would you let your name stand as the council representative on the Basra board?
I don't want our municipality to be the last town in the province selling bag tags. I want my name to stand. Yes, thank you.
Are there any other nominations from the council floor for a council representative? Seeing none, I need a mover and seconder that the council of the municipality of Kincardine hereby appoint Councillor Doug Kennedy to sit on the BASRA board, moved by Deputy Mayor Clark and seconded by Councillor Kavanaugh. All in favor? Anyone
Yes.
opposed? And that's carried. Oop. All right, there were no notices of notice of motions provided. We do have one motion regarding the Enbridge Battery Energy Storage Project. We need a mover and seconder. The Council of the Municipality of Kincardine supports the development, construction, and operation of Enbridge's Battery Energy Storage Project, LT 1 RFQ 0123 of up to 150 megs located on concession 6 being lot 9, concession 7, Bruce Township, except for some other parts of that which are identified in the motion. Moved by councillors Kavanaugh and Steinhoff Gray. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Yes.
And that's carried. Consideration of bylaws. So here we are, once again, the extended list of bylaws that we're presenting. If there are any bylaws that anyone would like to withdraw for separate consideration, please let us know now, okay? Councillor Kennedy?
Yes, number 7, I'll have to withdraw.
Okay, because of a conflict of interest? Yeah, we'll withdraw that one and we'll vote on it separately. Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. Through you, just looking at my eScribe, the IT services agreement is still listed. Does that need to come out? Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So that one will be, it has already been dealt with, so it will not need to be considered as a bylaw this evening. All right, so we need a mover and seconder that the following bylaws are hereby read first, second, and third time, finally passed this 25th day of October 2023. The financial FA?
That's just an agreement.
FA 1819 debenture time law bylaw 2023-173. Accounts receivable policy bylaw 2023-175. Do you want to change those numbers? So the clerk has the ability to make minor amendments within that. So 2024 rates and fees bylaw 2023, amendment to zoning bylaw number 2003-25 holding removal 457 Side Road 30 bylaw. Amendment to zoning bylaw number 2003-25 holding removal 12 Craig Drive bylaw. And council committee appointments 2023 amendment bylaw. Need a mover and seconder for those bylaws identified. Councillors Kennedy and Blackwell. All in favor? Those are carried.
Yes.
Now we will address number 7. So we need a mover and seconder that the Kincardine Bulldogs Video Agreement 2023 bylaw be read first, second, and third time and finally passed the 25th of October 2023. Moved by councillors Kavanaugh and Prenger. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? That's carried. The Dalton lease agreement bylaw. We need a mover and seconder that the Dalton lease agreement 2023 bylaw be to be read first, second, third time. Finally passed and numbered as bylaw number 2023. Whatever it is, because there's some amendments made to some of those. 180. Okay. Mover and seconder, councillors Hinchberger and Deputy Mayor Clark. Is there any discussion? Councillor Steinhoff Gray.
Through you, Chair. Just pulling up my notes, but I did ask the question. I didn't have a chance to clarify with you. what type of land this is, given the lease rate per acre.
Through you, Mayor. The lands are pasture lands and not conducive to anything else beyond that.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? And that's carried. All right, the consent agenda. So items listed here are considered routine and we'll pass them all in one, except for any that any council member would like to withdraw for consideration either this evening or at a future date. So we need a mover and seconder that council approve the recommendations contained in the consent agenda dated October 25, 2023, and direct staff to proceed with all necessary administrative actions. Moved by Councillors Kavanaugh and Blackwell. Are there any items which any councillors would like to withdraw for further consideration? Councillor Steinhoff Gray.
I think if it's possible, I'd like to pull from the consent 9.1 Delta Alpha, which would be in reference to Sundance, Paul Krelling. I just, with all the emphasis we've had about community engagement and valuing those concerns that are brought forward to us, I'd just like to refer this one to staff to acknowledge, because it's early on in the process, just acknowledge those concerns that are being brought forward to us and provide us a report back. Thank you.
Just need to talk to the CAO just for a moment. I'll be right back. Manager McNabb. I believe you have been part of the email chain regarding county notification. I had a couple of Inverhuron residents meet in the office with me, expressing their concerns not only of the Sundance, but development on a broader range within the Lakeshore community. And it was my direction and my offer that the notification process comes through the county more than it does through the municipality. And I recommended that there be a, even though the Inverhuron District Ratepayers Association seems to be the group of, like the structured group of people at Inverhuron, there were some concerns that that the function of the Ratepayers Association sometimes didn't lend itself towards advocacy one way or the other. Like they're a great association, supports the community, fabulous, but there was a different opportunity for notification of development to be circulated. To that end, I connected these folks with the county, and Manager McNabb, can you respond with what the county's answer was to their request?
Yes, through you, Mayor. I did get a response back from the county from Karina on the notification to the consultation with regards to development and planning. And they were looking at adding that to the circulation list outside of what they currently have. Usually it's invested that circulation goes to stakeholders requiring or requesting agencies that have basically legal rights to comment on planning developments, as well as circulation areas on various types of developments. For example, like a zoning amendment would be circulated to within 120 meters of the project site. So what we've done is speaking with the county that they've added that, I do believe it's the NGO, if that's correct. They're going to be add that to the circulation list. It's a bit above and beyond the requirements of the county's responsibility, but I think it's a good thing for open and transparency to have more stakeholders involved, especially in a community area where the development will occur.
So when there are letters expressing comments regarding development, particularly in the Inverhuron and Lakeshore region, the members of this organization, which is not the IDRA, will be receiving notification. Like they don't just get carte blanche of everything that's going on, but if it is focused on the Inverhuron / Lakeshore region, they'll be notified as part of the general notification process. That's good news. That's a good news story. Any other items, Councillor Steinhoff Gray?
Not at this time.
Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. Through you, I was just going to give my thanks to the Director of Corporate Services for the visual graphs of the asset management update. I appreciate that. I'm a very visual person. It really showed me the gap that we have and the work that we have before us.
Okay, we have the motion resolution moved and seconded that we approve the recommendations. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That's carried. Excellent. Member of Council General Announcements, Councillor Hinchberger.
Thank you through you, Mayor. This is a bit after the fact. A couple of weeks ago, I think Councillor Kavanaugh mentioned the upcoming planting in Elps Park by the Kincardine Naturalization Projects. And I'd just like to point out that Councillor Blackwell and I and a number of citizens braved the inclement weather and in a matter of a couple of hours managed to put 70 native species trees in the ground out there. And I would consider that was a very good example of community engagement and doing something that should benefit the community in the long run.
Councillor Prenger, please.
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Stewart.
Just a quick mention that the Tiverton Lions will be putting on the 50th anniversary gala on November 4th. Tickets are still available, and I believe our mayor might be showing up to that one too. Thank you.
Councillor Blackwell, please.
Thank you. I'd first like to recognize and congratulate Deputy Mayor Clark on two things that have happened since our last meeting. The first was she was winner Business Person of the Year, I believe, at the Chamber Gala Awards. And also was really a driving force behind the Afro-Caribbean Culture Awards that I was on the weekend. I went to it. I have to say it was an absolutely wonderful event. It was really amazing. How many youth received awards? Do you know?
25.
25 youth received awards, and just the pride and joy on their faces to be recognized, I think was just something that was very powerful for me to see. So congratulations to Deputy Mayor Clark and to all the team and organizers who put that together. The other update that I have to share is there's an organization called No Stone Left Alone. It's a national charity that is working to promote youth engagement in Remembrance Day, and in partnership with Councillor Kennedy, we've connected with the Legion, and Elgin Market School will be, several classes will be attending on November 10th at the Kincardine Cemetery to place poppies on over 370 veterans' graves in an act of remembrance. So there will be some details coming out about that. I'm quite excited for it, and the public is welcome to attend. It'll be about 11 o'clock on November 10th.
Councillor Kennedy, please.
Yes, just a few things here. Just a Special Olympics curling team qualified to go to Calgary in February. They're pretty excited about that. So hopefully they have a good experience out there. Just happened to run into Crystal, our physician recruiter at the hospital a couple days ago. She was really excited about her trip overseas and made lots of really good contacts. Said it was a real positive experience for our municipality. She's pretty confident that some good things will happen from that. And I just want to echo Councillor Blackwell's comments about Deputy Mayor Clark. I don't know where she finds the time, but she's an amazing lady. Thank you.
Councillor Steinhoff Gray, please.
I would just like to recognize that yesterday was Counselor Hinchberger's birthday and I've brought cupcakes in, so there's enough for everybody still in this room. Please don't leave without your cupcake. Happy birthday, Counselor.
And you already scarfed one of Councillor Kennedy's chocolate bars and Councillor Kavanaugh, please.
Thank you very much. And through the chair, we're all very excited to see sections of our main street reopening, and it works out just in time for the Halloween Spooktacular, which is kicking off this Saturday, October the 28th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So bring out all your little ghouls and goblins and dress up in your favorite costumes and come on down to the main street. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Clark, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the community for their support on the weekend for the Afro-Caribbean Cultural Awards. It was fantastic support and a special recognition to our director, Lori Fiozzi, and her team, who had worked really diligently in pulling that off, and to the municipality of Kincardine, who has supported that venture going throughout the past 6 months. Thank you.
All right, there's actually quite a number of things going on. Bruce County Historical Society Annual General Meeting Saturday in Underwood. Doug, you didn't talk about Rock the Docks. Do you have tickets left for Rock the Docks? 20? Okay, it's not too late to get your tickets. The first responders are having an appreciation service October 29, 2:00 at Knox Tiverton. It's just an opportunity to recognize and support our valuable first responders. Saturday, November 4th, as well as the Tiverton Lions Dinner, there's Dancing with the Stars, which is a significant fundraiser for Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's at the Pavilion. And the Remembrance Day services actually start on Sunday, November 5. There is the first placing of wreaths at the Tiverton Cenotaph that Sunday afternoon at 2:00. So as part of Beth's work in leaving no stone left alone that very dawn. So we have opportunity to remember and celebrate the service of many men and women who've gone before us. CAO. Oh, you want to do this one? That's good news for you.
This is just a quick update from Infrastructure and Development that Harbor Street is reopened. So it was reopened as of midday today. Traffic will now flow again westbound. So just so everyone's aware, make that switch.
It's not a two-way street anymore. Okay. All right, we need a mover and seconder. There's a long motion, so don't put your hand up yet. The council move into closed session pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following purposes. Approval of closed session meeting minutes dated October 11, 2023. Secondly, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees or potential appointees to a local board, ad hoc committee, or other municipally controlled organization, BIA appointment. Thirdly, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees or potential appointees to a local board, ad hoc committee, or other municipally controlled organization, specifically the peer ad hoc committee appointment. Fourthly, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees or potential appointees to a local board, ad hoc committee, or other municipally controlled organization, and labor relations or employee negotiations, human resources matter and organizational review. Fifthly, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, and further, the council return to regular open meeting upon completion. We need a mover and seconder for that motion, moved by Deputy Mayor Clark and seconded by Councillor Kavanaugh. Any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. We're now in closed